In the wrestling world, it's almost always a story of good versus bad, or in wrestling terms, faces versus heels. Yet there are some wrestlers who are better at being heels than faces. My name's Harold, welcome back to the channel. If you enjoy, like and subscribe, and here are 5 wrestlers who are better at being heels than faces. Number 5, Randy Orton. A man who has been a regular on WWE television for almost 20 years, winning 14 world titles and being the 18th Grand Slam in the company's history. He's a superstar who's proven himself as both a heel and a face. Yet ultimately, he has built a reputation as being one of the most sadistic heels in the company's history. A superstar who has burned people alive, kidnapped helpless men, and punted retired legends in the head, Orton certainly deserves to be on this list. Whilst he's never had a bad face run, his current run of Riddle is in fact very entertaining. He is a superstar who is a natural heel, from having a punchable smarky face when he was younger, to trying to end a career of returning legend Edge. His work as a heel is his best work, and what the Viper will be remembered for. Number 4, Edge. When Edge returned in the 2020 Royal Rumble, after 9 long years away from the company, everyone was delighted to see a return of the most decorated champion in history. Other than, well, R-Truth. Since then, his work has been great, having some excellent feuds with the likes of Randy Orton, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Yet despite this, Edge returning, there is a part of him that is deep down we all want to return. And that is the ultimate opportunist and the rated R superstar. Yeah, I know Tony Chimmel. Edge. Throughout the mid to late 2000s, Edge was the top heel in WWE after he had a real-life affair with Lita and the audience turned on him. His work with Lita was excellent, which eventually led him to cashing in the Money in the Bank, winning the WWE title on John Cena at New Year's Revolution, and also a live sex celebration. But nobody remembers that, right? Shut up, horny men. Edge is a superstar who oozes arrogance and cockiness, and who would try to take advantage of every opportunity to win the match. And despite being a great face, he's a better heel, and in fact, one of the greatest heels in wrestling history. Number 3, Roman Reigns. For years, the WWE Universe begged Vince McMahon and the WWE to turn the top star of the company, Roman Reigns, heel, and when they did, it certainly paid off. As one of the most hated faces in wrestling history from the years 2014 to 2019, Roman's face run is awful. The World Wrestling Entertainment shoved the big dog down our fans' throats, and we can't have that. We decide who goes over, not you. Making him win the Royal Rumble, beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and then main event 4 WrestleManias in a row. And not even Dwayne Bloody Johnson could get the crowd to cheer for him. And if he can't get you to cheer for him, well, I'm sorry, they're just not going to cheer for you. But when Roman Reigns returned at SummerSlam 2020, after a brief hiatus away from the company, he began the best work of his career. He would win the Universal title a week after returning, and he continues to hold the title today, putting on incredible matches with the likes of Edge, Cesaro and Daniel Bryan, and cutting the best promos of his career in his work with John Cena. Heel Roman is 1,000 times better than what his face work was, and he has certainly established himself as one of the best and greatest superstars of the past decade. Number 2, Seth freaking Rollins. A man who's committed one of the most shocking heel turns in history after he stabbed his Shield brothers Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose in the back, Seth Rollins is destined to be a heel. His work with the WWE title as a member of the Authority was one of the most entertaining reigns in years, and he played the cocky cheating heel perfectly. And how could we forget that laugh? Unfortunately, Rollins would get injured in a live event in the November of 2015, but when he returned in the June of 2016, he was extremely over with the crowd, and therefore we got to see what he could do as a face. His run wasn't dreadful, but it was forgettable to say the least. And when the crowd turned on him again in late 2019, after some awful work with The Fiend in probably one of the worst matches in wrestling history, and some boring stuff with Becky Lynch, we finally got to see him as a heel once again. He started off as the Monday Night Messiah and eventually evolved into the Visionary and the Drip King, cutting great heelish promos and having great feuds with the likes of Edge and committing, well, really gruesome acts by taking Rey Mysterio's eye out. Don't know what that about. Seth Rollins' heel work is the best work he does, and that's why he is on this list. Number 1, The Miz. One of the World Wrestling's Entertainment most loyal superstars, Miz has been one of the most charismatic wrestlers of the past decade, having great title reigns with the Intercontinental title along the way. When The Miz started off in the WWE, he was part of a team with friend John Morrison, who he would turn on, causing massive heat from the crowd. Since then, he's been one of the most arrogant superstars on the roster, and not afraid to upset fans along the way. Beating John Cena to win the WWE title had every kid hate him, and how could we forget that angry girl, which we still use in meme templates today, even though it was about 10 years ago. A great wind-up merchant and one of the few superstars able to make the Intercontinental title feel prestigious, for the great reign he had with it in the years 2016 and 2017 in prime SmackDown Live. Eventually The Miz did turn face in 2018 in a bid to elevate him back to the main event scene. However, this run was forgettable, and The Miz wasn't as entertaining as he was during his heel runs of the past, and just appeared as a weak superstar. Since then, The Miz has turned back to being a great heel, winning the WWE title once again. The must-see superstar is a future Hall of Famer and one of the greatest heels in modern-day wrestling, and although his face work wasn't dreadful, Miz is certainly a heel through and through. That's all from me in today's video, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed, it would be much appreciated if you could subscribe to the channel. Nearly at 100 subscribers, it doesn't cost you anything, and it just makes me happy. And who doesn't want to see that? Let me know who you think are the best heels, who are better than faces in the WWE history, and I'll be sure to reply to your comments, because I love to engage with you on the YouTube channel. That's all from me. Goodbye. See you in the next one.